Weird.
Welcome to
It's
everybody in
not.
chat, by the way. Be sure if you have any questions or any thoughts throughout the duration of the podcast, be sure to put them in chat. Uh, we consistently kind of look at it and can take some feedback based on it.
All right.
Ooh, the automatic change in voice.
Yep. Let me turn on a light too. There
It's,
we.
So-
I guess that's better. Is it any better?
yeah, it's definitely better. I have to adjust your volume. Say like a few sentences.
Hello. TSM, best team ever.
Nice.
Alpha team.
Nice.
There was an interview that we can get into later. I'll tell you.
Was that the speaker interview?
Yep.
I did not watch any of it.
So I'm gonna tease it now, and we'll talk about it later. He said that he would like to go to LPL at some point, like Shadow did.
Oh shit. Damn.
Yep.
Sad thing is I could actually see him doing it, but we'll get into that actually probably pretty quickly early on because I'd imagine we'll bring that up with the FlyQuest stuff. Like before we dive into like any of the games, we'll get around like the drama and everything. But let me kick this intro off for YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crossover Podcast. Today on a Wednesday, by the time this goes up on YouTube, it'll be is today Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be Thursday when this goes up on YouTube. A lot later than normal. I apologize. I'm currently in month-end close for work, which is also year-end close for those that work in the finance world. Life is hectic. Life is busy. But also my wife finally came back to town this past weekend, so I had to ditch on Paul for a little bit. But now we're good to go. So, welcome. Paul, how you doing?
Pretty good. Got to watch a lot of League this weekend because I had a lot of time, and it was awesome. It was good games. It was fun.
I feel like you and I actually was the last time we formally talked on the podcast last week.
Yep.
Have we talked since then at all?
I think we've chatted once, but you joined and then had to leave real quick.
Yeah. So this actually is going to be a catch-up conversation for a lot of people.
Yep.
And for those that don't know, when I get towards the end of month close, like we are currently in now, working longer hours makes me very retrospective on a lot of things. So I can tend to be a little bit longer and a little bit ranty. So if you ever have any philosophical questions, now's the time to put them in chat because boy, oh boy, will I give them thought because I guarantee I already have. Between that and having Love Island in the background just for something to watch, they've been going.
Oh, you watch Love Island?
Oh, dude, I love Love Island. I'm addicted to the show so much because it's
Okay.
like Emily and I watched the first season of Australia, and she liked it, but I love the show. Like I love all the drama that comes with it. And
Okay.
I don't know, I just find it better than like any other like American TV show that's on there. Like it's a lot more provocative, a lot more raw that I just like it. Like the one episode that I watched last night, like new girl comes into the house, immediately starts like shoving people and gets kicked out of the house like literally an hour later. It's like, yes, okay, I like this. But
Well, oh man.
so
I'll just keep my opinions down on it.
I'm fine with you publicly shaming it. I don't care.
It's fine.
So, how much did I tell you about the LCS watch party, or how much did you watch any of the stuff that I put out on the weekend about it?
So all I saw was your Twitter post, and I don't have a TikTok, obviously, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
know. But the Twitter post was very in depth, and from what I could see, very true.
All right,
That
so
they dropped the ball.
there have been some developments on this today that I just want to lay out everything and get this publicly out there because I will be clipping part of this and putting it on TikTok as well, and then putting it on Twitter. So the context behind the entire story is that on Wednesday, the LCS tweets out that they're having watch parties in like 6 major cities across the United States, including like Seattle, New York City, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and like one or two other spots. And I understandably absolutely hyped for that because I love watching League of Legends in a bar. One of my favorite settings to do so at. We consistently do it when we have it here in New York City. Uh, I promoted it on TikTok. I actually got, whenever I posted the video, somebody actually said that the only reason that they went was because I let them know about it and they found out via TikTok. So they went to the Atlanta one and there were actually like 10 people there for that one, which
Wow.
I'm glad that all that worked out. And if I can continue to promote these, great. Watching League of Legends in that way is amazing. Uh, Unfortunately, though, New York City did not have the same experience that Atlanta did. Uh, I showed up to the Buffalo Wild Wings right as things were getting kicked off for the Hunter Thieves Team Liquid game. And when you always know it's a bad sign when you walk in and the hostess has not a damn clue what you're talking about, which is not
Yep.
good. So she sets me at the bar and is like, I'm sure like we'll figure it out, or if anybody else from the party comes in, we'll make sure we move you around. And it's like if I'm the only one here, it's like 2 minutes after this has started, not a good sign. Probably nobody else is coming. So I sit at the bar. The manager comes up to me and asks what in the world I'm talking about. So I show him the tweet saying that like it's supposed to be on in your location, like it's supposed to be like an official watch party. And he's like, nobody ever informed me of this. And he was very nice the entire time, very helpful. I said, that's that's fine. I like things like this have happened before in other esports that I'm not surprised that something like this could happen. Uh,
Hmm.
but is there any way that you could put it on any of the TVs? And he said, Jesus, really, dogs? I only have one TV in the entire building of like 200 and some, probably like 200 TVs. Luna, stop. Uh, that has a Roku that can actually play YouTube or Twitch to get this on there at all.
Wow.
So he pulls up the one TV that has the Roku, which is like at the corner of the bar, luckily, so I don't have to move anywhere. And he tries to pull up YouTube and it's not updated. So he then has to go through the entire process of updating the Roku to then get YouTube on there. And even then, it's like a web browser version of YouTube, not like an actual YouTube app. So he's only able to get up the LOL esports stream, which has like
Oh
that
man.
crop version, like see the full thing on LCS's channel. Uh, so it was like, okay, this ain't working. We're halfway through the game. 100 Thieves is already winning, and I literally could only stay for like 1.5 games anyways. So I thank the manager. I pay for everything, but I'm just pissed. And I tweeted out the photo, and I'm not gonna pull it up on stream or anything like that because I don't want it to I don't want that to be the focal point of this. Uh, but I was pissed that I traveled an hour up to the Bronx to sit at a bar and not watch League of Legends in the way I've had my AirPod in and was watching it on my phone. That was a better viewing experience at the bar than what actually happened. So I made a video about it, which actually did decently well on TikTok. Got a lot of people kind of agreeing with it and being like, yeah, that's irresponsible because it's not on the store. It's purely on corporate and the LCS, like from the outside looking in, because the manager or the general manager was great. He was very helpful in everything. Uh, the update is that this morning, Buffalo Wild Wings and the LCS both reached out to me individually. Buffalo Wild Wings apologized for the experience and said, they owned up to it. They said, this is not on the LCS. This is purely on us.
Hmm.
We're sorry. And yeah, and then there's they sent a gift card, but that's kind of irrelevant to it. The LCS then reaches out a little bit later and apologizes as well. And I guess I'm going to be getting like an LCS gift basket or something. I don't know, something to make up for it, which that I don't really care about all that. The important part to me and the reason why I'm really happy that they reached out is, as I've said, I want people to have events like this to go to. I know we put them on separately from the LCS in New York City, so we're different. But I want
Hmm.
Buffalo Wild Wings is a key part to a lot of suburban life. Like when I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, that's where you went to watch UFC fights. And if that's the same spot that you can go to watch the LCS, that normalizes it in culture. So it's
Yep.
really important to have things like that on a consistent basis. And the fact that they saw what happened, they acknowledge it, and they're actively going to look to improve that for future events. And they specifically said that they will be holding more events this summer alone. Makes me happy because it's like, okay, good. That's been the number one thing that I've been preaching the entire time. My family owns a restaurant, so I know the process of people needing to hear feedback. You don't want to be a dick about it. You want to be constructive with criticism. But
Yep.
people do need to get that, not reality check, but people need to find out in some capacity. If nobody ever tells you that something went wrong or somebody's doing something wrong, you can never fix it and improve. So the fact that they've acknowledged it and that it's going to be better in the future, I'll just say this again, please go to these events. They're great for the LCS ecosystem. If you like wings, regardless of your feelings, for some reason, a lot of people in New York City are like anti traditional establishments, which I get. It's like a local thing, but for everybody else outside of New York City and even those within, please go to the events. They're a great time. Yeah, I've been talking a lot for like 5 minutes straight, but you go ahead, Paul.
Well, I didn't go, so I figured I would let you just run through and
Yeah,
say what
have
you
you ever
didn't like about it.
had an experience like that with like a sporting event or anything else? Like I know gaming obviously
Um,
is different than that. Like you
I
could.
was surprised that you guys couldn't find it because Chris has been to an LCS. Uh, well, he watched LCS at Buffalo Wild Wings in Indiana, and they got it on the channel pretty quick, like
Dang.
on their main TV for him. So I was surprised that like yours couldn't figure that out, but it doesn't completely shock me. I mean, not every place has Roku linked to their TVs,
Yeah.
so that's just how it is.
It's just
Especially if they're more older establishment.
it was weird because they were actually fairly new. It looked like, but I've never been that far
Oh
north in
wow.
the Bronx, so I couldn't tell you whether uh, they've been around for a while or not. But it's like
Yeah.
the events that we have, like as part of like the New York City League of Legends group, uh, we typically do it at like 3 or 4 different bars. There's like Cargers, which is in Midtown, which is also like a Liverpool group. So like they're like
Hmm.
for some reason it's always the Europeans that are like very forward thinking with this type of stuff and have no problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah.
We have like a private room that we rent out there, which they all have YouTube TV, which is easy. We have a
Yeah.
we have another bar that has a basement area that we rent out that is really good, but we connect like a laptop that then projects onto the TVs, so that's never an
Hmm.
issue there. And then the final one has ESPN, which used to carry the LCS. I don't know if ESPN still does. I think they might, but I don't like it's never been an issue in the spots that we've picked to get it on. But I definitely do know that bar owners can be very finicky when you say, "Hey, I got a group of people that want to come and watch a video game."
Yep.
The first thing that comes into their mind is not going to be, "Hey, these are people that want to pay for a beer." That's going to be, "Why are you bringing 12 to 15-year-olds in a bar? What good does that do me?" And like
Yeah.
you have to go through a process of like proving it to people like, "No, like this is actually a group that has money, that can spend money, that, we're not as big as like the crowd that you'll see on Saturday nights for the UFC, but people still will order a burger and fries, wings and enjoy the LCS and, talk some shit."
Yep. And I mean, it's gonna be a while. I just went to your Twitter to look at the whole thing again because I wanted to see the photo again of just how sad it looks with the little other videos on the side suggested. But they, it will probably be a bit before they see it as that, and it makes me kind of laugh because I mean, it reminds me of when we both went to the Detroit final, and that place is jam packed with adults, and everybody was going to bars before the final and all that. And then all of a sudden, we all then go into the arena and we're watching it there. And they're like, oh man, there's no way a watch party would work in a bar because who in League of Legends would want to go to a bar? And it's like, you think people who aren't young and 21 want to go like drink and watch League of Legends?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they would. It would just, and honestly, with NA's play level, maybe it's a good thing to let us all get drunk before the game.
For I don't think we've ever talked about it publicly, but for those that don't know, Paul and I have known each other for a while. But the first time that we ever met, we didn't did did you no, I think you knew that I was going to LCS finals prior to that day, but I didn't know that you were going until that morning, like the
Yeah,
Sunday
and
of finals.
I mentioned it was more organized by Incar than it was with you. Like that
Yeah.
was how I met you more. So it was more like me going there to meet Kento, and then like you were tagging along and Jones was too. That was how I understood it. But I was gonna meet you too because you and I were the two bottom laners that both played. And then all of a sudden from it, it's kind of funny how it all ended up. You and I like still chat every day to this day now.
Yep.
So
It
it is funny.
it was an amazing feeling. Go because we were trying to find a place to eat for lunch prior to finals, and it's
Yeah.
like normally, you want to go to like a bar right near the stadium because like on a normal sports day, it's packed with all the fans of the team that's playing. Like if you go to Pittsburgh, like I always think of right outside of Heinz Field, there's Jerome Bettis' grill. And you go in there and it's just nothing but Steelers jerseys throughout the entire restaurant. It's insane. Even like everywhere within like a 5 mile radius of the stadium, it's nothing but Steelers jerseys. And
Yep.
this was the first time that I've ever walked into a bar like that, and it's all LCS jerseys. Like Paul's
Yep.
wearing his TSM jersey. There's a ton of Cloud9 jerseys, even though they I would say Cloud9 was probably the most popular. Then you had like Team Liquid. Like you had every jersey packing the bar. Like there were only a handful of people that weren't wearing a league related jersey, which was
Yep.
insane to me.
Yeah, and it was crazy to see all those LCS fans there, and then the amount of people just running around, having a good time, doing all the meets and greets and all that. And I will say, still to this day, I was amazed how many TSM fans were there for a tourney that they got fifth in.
Well,
Like they
we
weren't even
got
at the arena.
didn't we get TSM chants or you weren't there for the third fourth place match, but I'm pretty sure there was a
No.
TSM chant going on that day and Rico Suave's in chat. He was also at that final. So he might be able
Nice.
to back me up on that cuz I think I ran into him on Saturday cuz CLG was playing
Nice.
in the third fourth place match against who else went to,
Yep.
oh, it was Clutch Gaming back then before they got bought out by Dignitas.
Yep. I've
Uh,
still yet to see TSM in person,
it will happen.
but I have watched Double Lift,
Hey,
so that's good.
I'm trying to get you a signed jersey, okay? But TSMK's,
Really?
yeah. So do you know who TSMK's is? Their
Yeah,
strategic coach. Did you see his
yeah.
tweet the other day?
Yeah.
Him saying
Yeah,
that,
we're gonna win it all.
yeah, I tweeted that, challenging him to a bet, saying that you name your conditions, and that's fine. It's whoever places higher, 100 Thieves or TSM, because you get a numerical finish, given that all of them will likely finish top 4.
Mm-hmm.
If they win, I'll do whatever he wants. He names his turns. If I win, if 100 Thieves outplaces TSM, I just want a signed TSM jersey by Bjergsen, Double Lift, and the team, and I want it to be sent over to you.
Wow.
I want nothing. I made it clear. I want nothing out of this bet. Like this does not
Yep.
like I don't get anything out of this other than just like obviously publicity for doing it, which is fun. I just want you to get that jersey, but he has not
Yeah.
responded. And I've had people spamming into TikTok comments, like spamming at TSM, but I don't think he's going to do it. So if you want to put some pressure on him, go ahead. But I've publicly
So,
challenged him to the bet.
well, it's for placements in regular season.
No. Playoffs.
Oh,
No, not regular
okay,
season.
then I
No.
take it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it's regular
Yeah.
season, then sure, that's biased. But no, I'm confident.
Yeah.
End of split, 100 Thieves is winning it all. And even if he's
Yeah.
even if he's confident that like TSM's not going to win it all, he's saying that TSM's going to at least place higher than 100 Thieves, take the bet. It's a
Yeah.
signed jersey. That's like nothing to you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll pay the shipping and handling. Goodness. Yeah, that is an interesting proposition. I mean, I would take that.
I doubt he's going to. I mean, who the hell
Yeah.
are we on Twitter? I mean,
I know.
it'd be cool as hell
Yeah.
though. Like it'd be kind of cool though to like have that as like a running thing on the podcast. Be like, hey, how's it going? But I'd be
Yeah.
curious, what kind of predicament does that put you in though? Because now it's
Why?
like if TSM wins it all, TSM wins. But if 100 Thieves wins, you get a jersey.
Well, I would
like-
rather get some win.
Yeah. I mean, I figured so, and that's why I made the bet.
Yeah.
But I like in the back of your mind, you're telling me there's not a portion of you that's gonna be like,
No, that
It's-
does make it a win-win.
if
That's a
Spica misses
win-win.
this smite and goes to the LPL, then maybe I get a jersey. So maybe there's a payoff to this. Maybe.
No, if TSM loses like the final, right? I get a jersey out of it. We get second place, which for world seeding on the low, I'm gonna say it. I do believe some of the stuff about how you're better off getting second. Like I do actually think that's better off. I think first seed for in an NA team is kind of really really hard.
Yeah.
IMO, but who knows? I mean, obviously I'd like to see TSM win it all again. Who doesn't want to see their team win it all? But if 100 Thieves won and I got a jersey out of it, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Speaking of win-wins here, let's divert real quick before we get back into the LCS stuff. The new champion
Okay.
was released today.
Okay.
How do you fully pronounce his name? Because I haven't fully looked. Is it Ashkar?
Ashcan.
Ashkin?
Ashcan. Yep.
I
Ashcon or something like that.
I personally love every single thing about this champion, fully. Like I love like it's a bit of Vayne, it's a bit of Caitlyn, it's a bit of literally everything. And then the grapple hook kind of is what it is. Like that's not even the part that I'm impressed by. He's got the Mercy revive from Overwatch, which
It's terrible.
I like the drama that this champion could bring.
Oh,
70 minutes into a game, okay, or like 60 minutes in, game 5, World's Finals, okay. It's one man left, and it's him. Okay, it's like a 1v2.
yeah.
Okay, and he cleans up the 1v2 and respawns 2 of his teammates, and they can quickly run it down mid to try and end it before everybody else responds. That'd be nuts. That'd be absolutely nuts. People would be freaking out. And it's
Yeah,
not like
but
he's the most mobile champion in the world. Like you just get on top of him and kill him and you're fine. Like he's arguably got less peel for himself than
okay,
Aphelios.
that's every ADC, dude.
Yeah, and he's got less damage
No,
than
he
every
has
other
way
ADC.
more appeal because he has that invis.
Yeah, but he has the invis, but like if you're already in a fight, you're not the invis isn't getting you out, and his grapple's not going to give you out because enemy champions block you.
Yeah, but
So,
that invis and movement speed is basically what Kai'Sa has. He just doesn't have the auto attack buff.
and he also doesn't have the repositioning tool that Kai'Sa has that makes her strong, and he doesn't have the quick like
Yes.
attack damage burst that Twitch has for an invisible ADC. Like this is,
Yeah,
I
I'm sure he's
understand.
finally balanced. I just don't like the mechanic of the W.
I mean, I get that. Early game though, I don't think it matters at all. Like respawn
Yeah.
timers are so low that it kind of is what it is. But
Oh,
I don't know
it's stealth. Big Red said it's stealth, so
if
you're revealed if they're near you.
yeah. So in team fights, it's like when that ability would actually matter late into the game, where like you're legitimately trying to 1v2 to res your entire team or at least part of your team. That stealth's going to be irrelevant. The hook is going to be the only thing that matters, and he doesn't deal the same amount of damage as every other AD carry.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, I just don't want to deal with it, to be honest. I'm just tired of dealing with these champs, dude.
I get it.
Like, every new champ has to have some sort of movement speed, invis stealth, whatever you want to call it. And then he has a grappling hook on top of it. And then he can revive his team. Did you see the YouTube comment where the guy wrote, Ashcon W heals, revives teammates, gives stealth, gives movement speed. Amumu W cries.
Look, okay, here's the thing. Like, we are past the point where, like, if you're think about this like a fighting game, okay? You know how in like fighting games there's like 5 different characteristics. There's like strength, speed, agility, like there's 5 different characteristics that you can have. And generally speaking, there's always characters that like max out one of those traits. And then there's that character that's just all around decent but doesn't excel at any one thing. Those characters like that, which I would lump this champion into, great for solo queue because you can single-handedly take over a game. In pro play, I'd rather have 5 characters that are maxed out on those individual strengths than that one person that's right down the middle. Because you have
Yeah.
5 people that can min-max everything to the point where he becomes irrelevant. It was LS that said it, that he's going to be it's going to take very specific comps designed around him to work. But the reality is, in most scenarios, there are other champions that you can probably fill that hole better with than him. Like his res is realistically the only ability that like really sets him apart from people. And even then, you might still be better picking somebody like a Vayne or like an Aphelios that can deal the damage and just kill him quicker.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage he does. That's the big thing. We need
Yeah.
to see how much damage he does, because if he ends up doing a ton of damage, which he probably will, because for some reason, anytime a new champ is created, they're just broken. Um, if he's a Phelios level busted, like at the beginning, then whatever. Like, let's just chalk it up. I
No,
mean,
take me back to that
let's
time.
just
I miss when
no,
200 years was actually
no,
200 years.
no.
Yes.
Let's just never go back.
Or launch
That
Kaisa.
time is gone. Yeah, that time is gone. The fact that Double Lift came in and got a pentakill on his first try, just trying out Kaisa, and they said, "This is it. This is the one we need to put in the game."
For
It's
the
like,
record,
yeah,
I got to watch that game because it was Team Liquid versus TL, or sorry, Team Liquid
no, it
versus
was
TSM, wasn't
he
it?
went to go. No, he went to go try it out, like in a. He went to go try it out at Rise headquarters,
Oh,
and when he
I
came and tried it out, he got a pentakill.
I mean his first
Then,
pro game. So his first pro game in it back in
yeah, he popped
2018,
off on it.
uh, it was Team Liquid versus TSM because it was the hype matchup of
Yeah,
him playing against his old team, and he picks Kaisen. I remember standing at a table at the bar, and people were like, "I don't like Team Liquid's comp," and I was like, "You are severely underestimating the power of Kaisa. Double Lift will literally take over this game come 20 minutes." And they're like, "No, you're out of your mind." I was like, "Look, I have been spamming Kaisa for the longest time. It's gonna happen."
Mhm.
15 minutes comes, Kaisa's doing nothing. They're like, "Double Lift is useless." I said, "Just wait." He hits 20 minutes and gets either a triple or a quadra instantly. And it was like, it's over. And they're like, "Oh my God, you're right." It's like, yes, she's busted. I hope he's
Yeah,
the same way. I really do.
has been awful. Yeah, I don't think Kai's awful. I think Kai's too good. I don't know. I mean, but every ADC, I hate them all,
I love him
and I
all.
should be allowed to hate them. But the issue I have with the ADC is like if it's in the right hands, right? It's the most busted role in the game. It's insane. Like watch LPL ADCs, they just sit there and stomp each other the whole game and stomp everyone else who's playing, and it's a waste of time. Then you watch another league,
Like
like honestly
LCS.
any other league. Well, no, any other league. I I don't want an LEC or a LCK ADC honestly that bad on my team. Like I think they're good, but there's a lot of LCK ADCs that look like they're trolling.
Yeah.
I mean Showmaker's playing it right now and he's dominating most of them. Uh and he's role swapped. LEC ADCs, their best one over time has been Reckless. I mean LEC is in a spot where I'll put it this way, Kabi is their far and away best ADC. Where does that put them?
Not in
Just
a
let
good
that
spot.
sink in. Yeah, just let that sink in.
I,
He historically has not. He's not bad. I don't
yeah.
want to say he's bad. He's just historically not been the best. So
Well, luckily,
something's going on.
I think we will have the new champion potentially in time for playoffs
No, dude, we
because
don't need him
he gets
there.
released on the 21st,
Ugh,
which
yeah,
we have what, 5 more weeks of LCS left. So one,
yeah.
two, three, four. Yeah, so he would likely be in the playoff patch. I think so because you have 3 weeks of the second or the third final round robin, and then we have, I think 2 more weeks on to that. So we have either 4 or 5 weeks left of LCS.
Okay.
I want to say 5, but I could be wrong. Either way, I think we will see him by the time playoffs come because I don't think we'll be a patch behind like we were last time. People were pissed about that.
Yeah.
But moving back to the LCS, uh, we'll start at the bottom and work our way up.
Mhm.
FlyQuest blew up their roster entirely.
Yeah,
Are you a fan? Do you think it's dumb?
I think it's dumb. Well, I don't think it's dumb what they did in the sense of trying out their whole academy team. I understand trying to see what you got. Like if you're in their position, just see what you got. You're not winning. You're probably not going to win. See what you got. I do want to push this in there real quick. I just want to do a little ha, ha 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 to everyone who sat there and said, Hoonie is so much worse than licorice. Why would you not just go pick up licorice? And then, look where he is now. Golden Guardians. Wow. That's a step up. Good
Oh
job.
god.
You all
Sadly,
proved me wrong.
I feel bad too because it's like I
Y'all
still
proved me wrong.
I still think Licorice is good. Like I don't think he deserves the Golden Guardians treatment at all. But
No, he
I al-
doesn't.
I also don't know how bad his injury is. Because if his wrist like will never allow him to return to 2018 levels, then
Yeah.
I kind of get it. And there's got to be more to this that we don't know about to a certain extent because there's no way that he falls that low without there being some sort of debilitating factor.
Hmm.
Uh, Big Bear says after watching Licorice's pro view, I might consider going pro. Is it really that bad?
um,
I will not pay for pro view because
he,
I don't watch
well,
it
they
that
do a
much.
free one every week,
Yeah.
like every game, and he definitely is. It's not good. I'll just put it that way. It's not so bad that like it is. It's pretty bad. Like you could just throw in a academy dude, like FlyQuest is doing, but FlyQuest Academy is Kumo, right?
Yeah, which we've already seen enough of him
Yeah,
to
we've
kind of
already
know.
seen Kumo. That's why I don't really get FlyQuest's decision. I think their jungler's the only one I want to see play, and their ADC because their jungler is pretty interesting. But like at the
Who's their
same time,
jungler? Is that NXI or whatever his name was?
NXI,
Yeah.
yeah, and Jose Dodo's good, so I don't know what they're doing really, and I don't know where Jose Diodo goes. Like,
I think Jose Dioto goes back to Latin America to be honest. Like
yeah,
I don't think he's worth an import slot at all. Like, by all means, he's a good guy. His fan base is massive, which I'm sure helps FlyQuest at least a little bit. But like,
true.
I can't imagine that's worth the import slot at all. But then again, I don't know what FlyQuest is planning. Like, are you
Hmm.
planning to like? Ideally, I would assume that you're
You're
playing the
blowing it
academy
up.
team with the intention of finding one or two players to maybe keep,
Hmm.
but knowing that you might have to get rid of everybody
Yep.
potentially because you're just at the spot where you need to rebuild entirely.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth a shot. I mean, I'm glad that they're doing it than sticking with the same main roster that's just going to int the entire time and just not care.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't really know what they go off of. I would say if you're FlyQuest, I don't think either of these teams would give these players up. But I got to watch the TSM 100 Thieves Academy teams play today. And I think Hyper and Takeover and obviously Tenacity and Kenvi are very fun to watch, and they both look like insane duos. So if you're looking for a top laner and a jungler and a mid laner and a jungler, like if you're looking to fill that, those are three players I would try to go get if I'm any team in the LCS.
Takeover
Like,
shocked me
well,
today.
yeah, Takeover is like he's looking really good. And I was surprised you knew me. I loved Sword. I was amped for Sword to come. And then all of a sudden Sword like really underperforms and Takeover comes in and dominates. And it was awesome. I mean, Tenacity and Kenvi were doing what they always do. And Hyper
Not in
actually
game
didn't
one.
look terrible. Well, true.
Not
Game
in
one they
game
got,
one.
yeah.
What happened at the
But
beginning of that game one? Because I tuned in like 20 minutes in and they were already getting stomped. I was like, what the hell?
they were just getting dove repeatedly top and solo killed,
Yeah.
which was odd. And then game two, he took out his anger on Hanser.
I saw the
So
1v1 at like 6 minutes and I was
yeah,
like, oh man, that's gotta feel bad. If you're
yeah,
Hanser, you had him like one health. But
yeah. I mean, I don't know. All I got from watching it was like Cody's son and Hansa are just collecting their paycheck, and I guess that somehow is helping Hyper and Takeover grow and your son grow, allegedly, because that's what the veterans are there to do, help them grow.
let me ask you
But
this. Is there anybody that you could see on TSM Academy being promoted up to the main team?
Hyper, if so if Spica truly does want to go LPL, I could see a situation where Hyper could get promoted. If Spica goes LPL, I could also see a situation where TSM offers quite a hefty penny to 100 Thieves
for Kenvi.
for Kenvi and Tenacity both.
So okay,
I would
well
say you get both.
now's the time then to dive into the Spica interview. I feel like that like now if
Sure.
we're gonna get into it, now it's gonna be the time that we do.
Yeah. So I didn't watch all of it because I wanted to save it for my walk tonight. I always listen to Travis Gafford interviews while I walk. Shout out to you. Thank you for the game fuel. um it's the issue is he said basically if he has the chance to go LPL, he will, but he doesn't want to go until he's knows that LCS isn't worth it because he doesn't want to end up like Peter Doublelift, who ended his career by saying, "I just knew LCS could never do it," which is a pretty tough thing to say about LCS. Like stating that you want to leave a place because you're just not sure if they can do it is very hard to say. And it also, I think, hurts TSM that he's fluent in Mandarin.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
That I
Now,
mean
do I see him? What?
the
Sorry.
language barrier is massive. I was just gonna like reiterate, like
Yeah.
him being able to speak fluent Mandarin automatically puts him like very high
Yes.
entry level into the or into the LPL.
Yeah. And his fan base. I'm sure he wouldn't struggle to pick up fans when he goes in and is the touted TSM superstar. You know what I mean? Because TSM brand just seems to travel well. It gets cheered for at every region. So the idea of him being able to go somewhere and spout off that brand and the fact that he's a good player, I mean, him and Closer are clearly top two like junglers right now, at least
Yeah.
by performance basis. So I could see him going there to actually win. It would just make me sad. And I'm hoping that before he would ever try to leave, TSM would like Reggie would realize how much he needs to pay that kid. Because he is a content machine.
Yeah. He is by
Yeah.
far like he is the future of TSM. And
Yeah.
it's just a matter of getting a team around him, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, PoE's done what PoE always does, which is made his jungler look like the greatest jungler in the world.
Every time.
Like, yeah, I don't know
He
how he
made
does it.
Wiggly look good.
He did. He really did.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And he's doing it again, like right here. He's making Spica look like an animal. I don't know what he does, to be honest. Is it just the fact that he plays control mages and he needs no help?
I
Like,
think
is
that
that it?
I think he just has a very solid understanding of basic macro elements of the game
Hmm.
that are transferable in every scenario. That as long as
Yeah.
you don't give him like some dumb champ to like really test the limits on, like when he used to play Talon and like really in with some interesting builds,
Yeah.
then he's gonna be a very solid rock. Like he is the I see him as like the elder version of Abadage at this point.
Yep.
Like Abadage is the same way where it's like it's a stable presence in mid lane. He can pop off and get you kills, but PoE is a
Yes.
lot more reserved now than he used to be. Like he's not as aggro and he'll just sit there. He has no problem farming it out in lane. Whereas
Yep.
like you can tell Abadage still has like that edge to him where he just wants to go in and get kills.
Yep. I mean, that's what I was about to compare him to as well, was I was literally about to say a mid laner helping a jungler play better was Awadage and Closer. I mean, making each other look insanely well. And it's funny because Closer was getting there was a lot of 100 Thieves fans talking about trying out Tenacity and Kenvi and
Yeah.
being like, maybe we should. And then Abadage comes in and just unleashes him. But I think a lot of it has to do too with just that aggression you can get from guys who in the mid lane who are rocks. And I would
Yeah.
say Abadage, uh, PoE, Jensen are people I would consider like rocks in the mid lane. Perks too. My bad. I don't know how I forgot him for a sec.
I
And
honestly
Perks,
right now I wouldn't consider Perks a rock in the mid lane.
that can be true. Yeah,
He can get back
that
there.
is true.
I'm not denying that. But in the moment right now, no, he's not that rock in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's just there. Those are the type of guys that I consider like make a jungler better. And I would say mid laners after that, I don't really think many do, because Jizuke is to coin flip, um, and the rest of the teams just don't have that interesting of a mid laner.
It always comes back to
So
the mid jungle duo around summer and World's time, doesn't it?
it really does.
Every
I mean,
single
yeah.
time.
Oh, and I mean, hey, we're talking about this week right now. Well, do you want to dive into the rivalry week now, or
Yeah,
are you cool if we just let it keep going?
let's keep going.
Sick. I wanted to say that TSM bottom lane. What's going on? They look insane these last two games.
They have.
I mean, I don't know what it is. Like they flipped a switch. I don't know what it was. And what better thing to test them than 100 Thieves this weekend? Like,
This is gonna be the ultimate test for the TSM bot. Like, here's the thing: we
yeah,
knew that Sword Art would come around. Like,
yeah,
I don't think anybody doubted that. Like, yeah, there were memes about like, oh, he's collecting a $6 million paycheck early on. Like, yeah, sure, like all that was out there, but we all knew come playoff and Worlds time that Sword Art would eventually get there. Same thing with
yep,
like Perks. Like, ultimately, I have faith in him to resume his form by the time Best of Five comes around.
yep.
It's like he'd be good, but Lost has legitimately been surprising me as at least this past week a
Hmm.
solid ADC because that is the one thing he has not looked like on a consistent basis.
Nope.
However, 100 Thieves is their boogeyman. They they have not played well against them in a best of one in a while,
Yes,
and I'm
it
curious to
has been a
see
while.
what happens this week because like that realistically, 100 Thieves has a
Mm.
rough week this week, if I'm not mistaken. Which let me pull up the schedule so I'm not uh, talking completely out of my ass. So Friday, 100 Thieves has Golden Guardians. So obviously, really nothing too big there. But the Licorice roster change can always cause some interesting things, although I'm not too worried.
True.
Then we have Evil Geniuses on Saturday and TSM on Sunday. EG being arguably the other hottest team in the league right now.
Yeah,
Besides,
Danny is just taking over.
like
Like,
if FBI and Huhi are gonna prove that they are the best bot lane in the LCS, this is the weekend.
yep.
You have to 3-0 this weekend to prove that. Now, can they
Yeah,
still lose? And I could see us losing to EG or TSM because we're bound to lose. We're on like a 7 or 8 game win streak. At
yep.
some point, you're either gonna try out one too many things or one too many things, or you're gonna end a game away because it happens to every team, and I could see that happening this weekend. But I do
Hmm.
not want to see. I I just want to see FBI and who he continue to play well. Like if we lose to TSM, I want it to be Lost and Sword Art continuing to elevate their play to that level to the point where they are competitive with them and arguably beating them, and not FBI and
Right.
who he crumbling.
That's fair, yeah. I mean, that does seem to be, I would say the biggest thing that stinks is that since both of them have already clinched playoffs, like, and we're 4 weeks out of being done, and they've already clinched. So I could see some drop off from the teams in the sense of they just like don't really want to push themselves as hard. But I definitely think because of the fact that these are the only two teams fighting with each other for first, that they still hate each other enough to try hard, which
Oh,
is what I'd like to see.
they have to because this is the battle for first seed. Like
Yep.
this is the game. This and assuming they continue to win out on the pattern that they are, and Cloud9 eventually gets stronger, but not quick enough, and Team Liquid gets better.
Yeah.
This game puts 100 Thieves at a 2 game advantage over TSM.
Yeah.
That solidifies them, assuming they finish with a tied record, I believe, due to head to head. I think
Yep.
they'll finish ahead, and I have to check Spring just to double check that. But this game, like these games are massively important because this is the
Yeah.
difference between locking one seed and automatically going to Worlds with a single best of 5 win and potentially losing in that first round and doing exactly what C9 did last year.
Yep. I mean, it's hmm. I would say a hard thing though to think about is ah I mean they both doesn't first and second get buys anyways? Both
They
of them?
do, they do, but first he gets to pick their opponent.
Oh, that's a good point. Then I could see why they would want to battle for first.
Yeah.
But also, it's like I feel like, have you heard all the stuff about Liquid being the best team? Why do 100 Thieves and TSM? I like that they're trash talking each other. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but both of them have mentioned that they think TL is the only other team that's good.
Because I think TL just has to put it together on stage. I think
Yeah,
there's a mental hurdle between scrims and on stage, which I think they
I
will
am.
eventually get figured out.
Will they bring Alfari back? Your boy Jenkins, not looking hot.
No, not anymore. He
Not looking
that
hot.
that initial
Yeah.
that initial bit of him playing really good is starting to wear off a little bit as people finally figure him out.
love him, but
I don't love him.
I
I
don't.
just think
I
he's
know you do.
I think he's serviceable. Like realistically,
Yeah.
I think you put him in for Hooney and it's the exact same thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I think he is serviceable. It's just tough. He is getting 8 right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Alfari's going to be really good when he comes back. We all know that. Santorin will still be Santorin when he
Santorin's not
comes
coming
back.
back.
He's not.
I this isn't confirmed, but I just have a feeling given the seriousness of his medical history,
Oh,
I think Santorin's done. Like done. Like
I could
like going to be
see that.
forced to retire because
Yeah.
he just cannot put in this kind of work effort. I think he will make a great positional coach in the same way that Cole
Hmm.
kind of was. But I
Yeah.
this is too much of an issue to Murky and Chad and to those that don't know. Uh, he has been dealing with consistent migraine issues that impact him to
Hmm.
the point where he can't even play solo queue on a consistent basis. Like
Yeah.
something is legitimately wrong. Uh, I'm not sure if that would be the brain, maybe his eyes. I don't know, but that's not something that you mess around with. That's something that you take some serious time off, see if you can get medically fixed, and if you can't, it's like turf toe for a football player. It's only a
Hmm.
matter of time, and you're just automatically done, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. I was and as someone who has migraine issues, and it was what stopped me from doing flight school. It is impossible, yeah. I mean, you can take time off and get treated, but once you go back to doing the thing that triggered them, I don't know if it's placebo or what, but it is very hard to get to
Yeah.
where you can do what you were doing. It's unfortunate. I mean, yeah, that you make a good point. If it's this bad, he may not come back, and I guess I shouldn't be thinking like he would.
I
That's
assume
tough
that
though if
Alfari
they're
is going to come
stuck with
back.
Armeo. Yeah, if they're
I
stuck
don't
with
think it is though.
Armeo,
I think with Armeo they can still get the worlds. I really do. Like I think they can
that's
beat Cloud9 in a best
true.
of 5.
Wow, so you think TSM and 100 Thieves are almost just a go?
No. Uh
Oh, okay.
I'm not I the closer we get, the more and more scared I'm getting of best of 5s. Like I have
For
faith
who?
that for 100 Thieves
Oh,
and for TSM. And
yeah.
it's not any sort of rational fear other than just like I've watched them crumble
Hmm.
in both spring and LCS lock-in in best of 5 series. When things start going wrong and they don't get the early game advantages and they have to fight their way back against an opponent that actually knows how to shut them out.
Hmm.
And I worry, by all means, they could still continue the early game dominance, and I have faith in that.
Hmm.
There's just this inkling fear in the back of my mind that something could be wrong. But the coaching staff has changed and everything else has changed, so it's not fair to use that prior experience in modern day scenarios. But I can't
Yes.
help have that thought in the back of my mind. It's always going to be there.
I would say my biggest thing to ease you would be the champion pool for mid lane is vastly expanded, and we haven't seen them yet in a best of 5 with that kind of champ pool. That's why I'm pretty confident they'll go. Um, I am still iffy on TSM because obviously their bottom lane has only played well for 1 week, and that's not enough to convince anybody. And I don't even know if this week really helps prove too much for them. Well, I guess it does with the 100 Thieves game, but the other two are CLG and Golden Guardians. So
And
that's unfortunately
and to rectify
worthless.
my statement earlier, by the way, I looked up the spring schedule because now that records roll over, your spring best of ones matter as
Oh
well.
yeah.
If TSM wins either of the games from here on out in the best of one, they
Mhm.
hold the tiebreaker over 100 Thieves because they 2-0'd
Ooh.
100 Thieves in the spring. So 100
Ooh.
Thieves has to win these next two games against
Okay.
TSM to guarantee, at worst, that they have the tiebreaker over them to get the first seed.
Wow.
So it
So
like a
thank
lot,
you, Ryoma.
yeah, a lot like a loss this weekend to TSM is beyond massive. Not only do you
Yeah.
lose the tiebreaker, you also then are in a tie with TSM, which
Yep.
to be fair, you could literally win out and be fine, but that's not really a realistic expectation with how competitive it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, C9 is keeps claiming in interviews they're turning it up. So we'll see when they actually turn it up, but they keep claiming they are. TL allegedly is going to get a vastly better with Alfari, and Jensen's going to quit inting when he comes back. So we'll see if that's true.
Hey, I'm glad we faced them twice before he comes back. That buys us some cushion. And because
True.
we won our two games against them in both the first and second round robin, we have a 3-1 record against them, so we can't lose to TL in a tiebreaker.
Wow.
So we're safe against Team Liquid,
I
assuming they get
still
hot.
think because of how bad Tactical is playing, and he's not playing bad, I guess that shouldn't be the word I should use, but he's definitely been getting like one shot every single game just repeatedly until the enemy team wins. And like I don't really know what to think about them, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I don't I'm not out on them. I think they can get third. I still think third is attainable easily. I just don't know if I think they can get to finals.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean
not huge on them getting to finals.
that's kind of realistic to be fair.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially if 100 Thieves and TSM keep getting better. If they keep getting better, I think it's just done.
now right now is the point though where you always worry that the drop off starts to happen.
Yep.
Like this is that week in the season where uh in summer of last year, Cloud9 like really started crumbling. Uh like it this is just the turning point cuz like I also remember like going back to this is going way back, but 2019, the year that we went to finals, Optic was playing out of their minds for the first little bit. And there was a potential of locking in a top 4 seed. And now was the time at which they crumbled. Like Crown started coming back down to earth a little bit. Uh, Doklo was showing clear weaknesses. Medios wasn't able to carry. Like this week just has just bad. From this week on, just has bad memories in my mind. Where I'm like, I like the first few weeks
Yeah.
of the summer season, I go into like any event, any bar event, and I'm just talking shit the entire time. Now I talk shit beforehand, but the entire game I'm silent, just sitting there watching. Don't say a word
Yeah.
until it's all over, and I just sit there like, and I'll literally sit there like this, and just watch and wait and measure everything, and just constantly be scared of throwing. Like
Yep.
I'm gonna be a nervous wreck fan from now until the end of the season for 100 Thieves.
Yep. I mean, and it's kind of been enjoyable watching 100 Thieves fans on Reddit and Twitter be like, why is everyone so saying like whenever LS writes like, oh, they could have won this game cleaner, and people go, well, why would he say that about us? Why can't he just be happy we won? And I'm like, your first time, welcome,
Yep.
welcome to the club.
Initiation. They all
Yeah,
that's the beauty of being a somewhat old school TSM fan is I've watched people do that to them. So
yeah,
it doesn't phase me when
yeah,
LS and Dom and all them be like, you need to close these games out cleaner. It's like you're right. Been there, know this,
yeah,
done that. I uh, I do feel like it's phenomenal to watch the fan base go through it for the first time because it's like
yeah,
this is the first like 2018 they went on a run at the later half of the split, but it was like you still knew that TSM or not TSM Team Liquid was going to absolutely stomp everybody in 2018 spring. Like
yep,
that was never a thought, even though 100 Thieves had to run. So it's like now you're legitimately the best team in the LCS. There's legitimately talk about you potentially going to Worlds and maybe being able to do something and represent North America.
Yep.
Now is when shit happens and the criticism starts coming and everybody starts throwing lobs at you because you're at the top.
Yep.
And if you can't knock them down and you can't swat them away, get ready to be giga tilted.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's very tough to go through as a fan base, and you start to even question if your team is any good. I mean, to be honest, you're an NA team, so you're probably not for Worlds. But it does start to hurt your hopium, and then all of a sudden the hopium comes back right before Worlds starts,
Yep.
and it gets super crazy. And if your team wins an A, you're like me. You just sit there. Like, well, no, for 100 Thieves fans, they'll be like, "This is the best feeling ever. This is insane. We're the best. We're not just a COD org, haha," and they'll be super happy. But if you're a TSM fan, you're like, I remember last year. Doesn't matter. And you just lean back and you just go, here it comes.
The
2-4 at best.
the
And
beautiful
you just
thing,
wait.
oh yeah, the beautiful thing for 100 Thieves fans is that it's like some people still have the memory of 2018 and
Yeah.
or 2019, or is it no? Yeah, it was
It was
2019 that,
28.
or
Oh,
yeah, it was 20,
19?
no, was it 2018?
I thought it was
Yeah, no,
18.
it was 2018 where they crept
Yeah.
in and then went 06. And like they were the original like
Yeah.
you did not deserve to be at Worlds. Uh that thought is still there, so like a lot of people are going to be like, "Eh, it can't get any worse than this." So, it is what it is. But I do agree with you that I feel like for 100 of these fans, just winning the LCS is enough.
Yes.
Like the goal this year is to make it to Worlds. It was never to do good at Worlds. It was just to make it to Worlds. So if for some reason they make it to Worlds and they just absolutely bomb, it's like, okay, you know, we accomplished our goal. Now the goal is to get better. Now you get into the trap that TSM does, where you get rid of FBI and Huhi for imports from the West or from
Yeah.
Europe and hoping that they magically fix anything, and then your whole roster goes downhill and you start Acadian again, and then yeah, it all just goes to shit.
Yep.
Triggering any
And then
memories there?
no, because we went back to Worlds. It's fine.
Wow. Wow.
I would
Ouch.
wish a 2-year drought on no one. That is like even my worst enemy. I would never ever hope that they had to go through those 2 years. Those 2 years of not being amped for Worlds is like I don't even know, man. I remember like in high school, I would sit there and I would listen to Monty and Thorin do that massive, 5-hour summoning insight
Yep.
for Worlds. I'd listen to LS amp me up for Worlds. I'd listen to Jat back when we had Chat on podcast form,
Ah,
hype me up, and I would be like, "It's coming, baby! It's happening!" I'd always fish right before two because it was like the last times you could fish because it's October, and I would be like, "Let's go fishing and listen to some LCS, like agenda, basically propaganda, so I can
yeah.
hype myself up." And then we'd suck anyways. But then when those got taken away, and I was just sitting there like, well, I guess I'll cheer for Cloud9, but honestly, I'm not gonna cheer for Cloud9 because I hate Cloud9. So I would just sit there, and I would hope that like Doublelift did well, but Doublelift never did well internationally, and uh, yeah, so it just sucked. And it's not like our third seeds ever carried any hope. So
Uh, well, after 2019, yeah. Because don't forget, wait, no, that's not true. Because even this past year, Team Liquid was the third seed.
oh yeah,
Or
this year
yeah, Team Liquid was the third seed, and they were
TL didn't have
arguably
any hope.
they were the best looking team that we had. It was one G2 win away from them getting in a tiebreaker to get out of groups.
Yeah, but I didn't expect them to get out. I didn't expect anything out of them.
Yeah, the prior year,
Like,
who was it in 20? Oh wow, it would have been 2019. 2019 was clutch, so nobody had any faith in them at all.
yeah,
Uh, and then 2018, Cloud9 was the third seed and went on the miracle run to semifinals.
yeah. I mean, yeah, if we take TL getting third place out of 4 teams as being above my expectations, that is true, to be honest. So that is true. and that can be called success. But it was an unfortunate time. But now that TSM's been back at Worlds, we're never not going again. I mean, hey,
I
it's
I
nice
will
to be back this year, baby.
I will never forget. And I don't know why this moment stands out in my head, but it was 2019, and I fully expected G2 to like make a deep run at Worlds, but I was also hoping an NA team would get out. And I was listening to all the podcasts and trying to get all the hopium in the world, and like nobody was really convincing me. And
Yeah.
then Froskurin specifically said that she thinks that TL is a team to watch, and that TL might get out of groups. And instantly, everything hit. All the hopium hit at one time. I picked all three North American teams to get out of groups in my pick'ems. I bought into it so hard just because she said that TL was gonna get out. Because
That's
like
big.
I've always revered Froskurin as like one of the better analysts of the LPL, but also then like using that to transition it into the West. And when she said that TL had Cretans, it was like okay, we might be fine. Clutch went to 5 games against them. That's good. Cloud9 should have beaten them. That's good. We're good. We're getting out. They're all going to adapt. They're going to be fine. And then, yeah, it all came crashing down
Like
again.
it always does.
Ugh.
Like it always does.
I got faith this year.
Um,
I truly have faith this year in Power of Evil and Spica and Closer and Abadage to stand a chance at getting out. This is
yeah, I
the
think,
best mid jungle duo that we've had amongst the 3 teams that we're going to be sending likely in years.
yeah. I mean, the issue is like, I just won't name the ones they're going against, and we'll just hope they win.
Yep. Just not.
Let's just not talk about the others.
Well, one team that I don't think they're going to be going against is going to be G2. I
Oh yeah,
I am
yeah,
firmly now in the camp
yeah.
that G2 is done. That they are not making worlds. That the worlds teams will likely be a combination of Misfits, Mad Lions, Rogue, and Fnatic.
Hmm.
Some rotation of those three. I I have lost complete faith in G2 as a team. And it's not because like it's not that they could turn it around. It's just like it feels like when people were saying in Peyton Manning's final season that like, oh no, his arm strength is fine. His arm strength is fine. And like everything you heard behind the scenes was like, no, it's not. His arm is shot.
Yeah,
Like we need to get somebody else to get him to the Super Bowl and then he can take over and possibly like limp us over the finish line. But like that's it. Everything that we're hearing out of G2 is just they've forgotten. Not forgotten, but I just think like I hate to say it, but they're getting old. And like the basics don't come as natural anymore. It doesn't seem like how do you lose that game on Saturday where you back and let Misfits get Elder and then just end the game on you like that? That seems, I mean, even watching that as a fan, that seemed pretty common sense.
yeah. I will say, part of it made me almost happy that TSM blew up the Dream Team roster before I had to watch it become this. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, that's what a part of me was thinking. Like, man, I could have sat there and watched them keep playing, but then one day I would have had to watch this happen.
To be fair, you did watch it happen. It was just at Worlds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they that was rude. That
I'm
hurt.
sorry. I'm sorry.
It wasn't wrong, it just hurt. No. That's why we
I'm
haven't
sorry,
talked for a
Paul.
week. That's why. But they no G2 like I can't even they I guess I'll just get out the other blatantly lie thing I'm gonna start saying now right here is can't wait to welcome Reckless to TSM. It's been a hard journey, son. I know G2 broke you down. come home, bud. Come home.
Dude,
Rest easy.
every time he
Power of
leaves
evil.
Fnatic, it's a curse.
I know, but if there's one place that can beat the curse, it's the place with money. Come home. Rest easy. We got some burgers. We got some shakes. We got some thick women. Just come have a nap and let's play some League of Legends in AA on 60p.
Isn't he
Okay?
dating the LPL translator or like one of the
Oh, I don't know. Never mind. We
I'm
don't
pretty
have.
sure he's dating
Okay.
somebody like on broadcast talent somewhere internationally because like the
I take.
talks.
Oh,
Oh, good.
I was gonna say I take that part back, and I'll just say we have sword art. I guess that makes things better. No.
Wait, what? Yeah, because Suning was the one that beat. Was it no? Damwon beat G2 in the quarterfinals this past year, not
Yep.
Suning.
Suning beat who? Fnatic? Fnatic didn't go that far, did they?
I
No.
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 Wait, no.
No.
Yeah, no. Fnatic got out of groups. They got the quarters.
Yeah.
But who did they play?
But
Because I
Suning
remember
beat a Chinese team.
Suning beat. I thought Suning beat. Yeah, Suning beat Top in the court or in the semifinals though. Was it Top that beat Fnatic? Yeah, Top beat Fnatic.
It was top.
Because I remember it was near bottom tower that Reckless throws a Senna route like
Hmm.
over a wall, predicting Jackie Love's flash, and he
Hmm.
flashes right into it. And I just remember seeing that and like just freaking out. I was like, oh my god, Reckless is a god. He's smashing Jackie Love, who's supposed to be the best ADC in this tournament, like by a
Yeah.
mile, and they're just pile driving him, but they fell apart everywhere else on the map.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you, Big Red Bird, by the way, for that call up.
yeah. I doubt he'd ever come here. But about back to G2, I guess. And that is a sick play. I mean, Reckless. We all know he's really good. It's just wondering where he'll go next, because obviously he's not staying with G2 if I had to guess. He's not a very loyal guy. Um,
Well, speaking of loyal, I'd be
the-
more worried about Caps than anybody.
yeah, I mean, that is a thing. Like, does anybody want Caps that bad? I feel like you do, right?
I feel like you have to take a chance on him. Like you can't
Yeah,
pass that up, but at the same time, like he's not playing like all
because
that well.
they're obviously struggling right now. Maybe we could chalk it up to sometimes a good jungler makes a mid laner better, and sometimes a good mid laner makes a jungler better. And maybe that's what he needs. He just needs a good jungler because Yankos definitely is the worst player on that team. Wonder isn't really playing great. Uh, Mickey isn't honestly awful. I feel like their bot side isn't terrible. I
Yeah,
just feel like they're getting tired of having to be the only hope. Uh, and I mean, dude, Misfits isn't dropping off. We've been
no.
saying it for a while, but this
Although,
is that week that you said this is the week where everyone starts
yeah.
to wonder,
Well,
do
and
you hold on?
here's my thing: is they did exactly what I said, where it's like I'm not as worried if they lose to Mad Lions but beat G2. The
Yep.
problem is the way that they beat G2 should not have happened.
No.
Like in every other scenario, the other team's not backing, you don't get Elder, and you don't win that game. That was
Yep.
that was an absolute. I don't even know if I want to call it a fluke because realistically, like that's just a legitimate lapse in judgment on G2's part. But I this week did not inspire confidence fully
No.
for me from Misfits. Like I would solidly put Rogue as number one right now.
Yep.
And
And
that
yeah.
go ahead. I was just
Oh.
gonna say they could turn around, but maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they Misfits I think still has a chance, like you said, to go to Worlds, and I think they could still win EU. Obviously, they're fine, but it's just so hard to think that, like, I don't know, it's just hard to see a Worlds where G2 isn't there because they've
Yeah.
just been around for so long lately. But I guess we got used to it with MSI. And honestly, like, if you look at LEC, the fifth place spot is a three-way tie with Australis, XL, and G2, or four-way, my bad, and Vitality. And all those teams seem pretty okay. Like, none of those are exactly teams I'm not confident in. Vitality actually has a pretty interesting team. Like they're
Yeah.
kind of young, toxic, quote unquote. I mean, I don't think they're toxic.
Yeah.
Probably they're probably
But
just
that's
normal
the
people.
reputation that they get.
Yeah, and they're they're literally learning a lot, and they've been getting better. So there's a lot of room for them. Strauss and Excel are really just whatever they are.
Yeah, the
And
difference between like the
yeah,
LEC and the LCS is that the bottom teams of the LEC can always upset the top teams of the LCS on any given
yeah,
day. Like you can't just roll over any of the bottom teams of the LEC or
no,
they will stomp you. Whereas the LCS you can get away with murder against FlyQuest and Golden Guardians and CLG.
yeah, that is true because they have so much more talent.
Yeah.
Like it's just a hard world to see. Rogue. I mean, Rogue. What we're thinking? Rogue Fnatic, Mad Lions,
As of right now,
and Misfits
I
maybe.
I would still go I would go Rogue as a lock. I would say a, an absolute toss up after that point. But if I had to exclude one, I would probably exclude Misfits.
Yeah, I think Misfits and Mad Lions are the two I'm least convinced in right now.
I agree, but Mad
But
Lions
I
has done a
think
lot to
Humanoid is
prove that.
better than VTO.
Yeah. Oh, at the moment, yeah. VTO has the room to grow a lot higher, but at the
Yes.
moment, Humanoid is definitely better.
Yep. So it'd be hard to go. Yeah, that's about all I can think of for
Yeah.
EU. Because honestly, watching G2 just slowly die makes me smile.
I don't know.
Ocelot
It's made me
needs
sad.
to disappear.
It's made
No,
me sad because it's
Ocelot.
like
Yeah,
the
that's true.
prime era of Western League of Legends is now officially past.
Yep, that is a
And
good point.
like even though it was only two teams in Fnatic and G2 like the entire time, you there was still so much pride. Like I'll never forget 2019 Worlds was just like like people might have found it obnoxious, but I loved
Mhm.
every minute of it, of the West finally having some hope.
Yeah,
And like even North America was like riling behind G2 to do it. And
yeah,
then it all just came crashing down so quick. And it's like I look back on it now, and obviously COVID doesn't help because like we've been
no.
stuck in this world for a year and a half now. But it's like
Hmm.
it really felt like we were building something, and then it just all fell apart. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see. Maybe that's me being way too macro level thinking with it. Ugh,
So,
I don't know.
what do we want to?
You got anything
What are
else
we
you want to?
thinking for this 100 Thieves TSM game? We throwing anything
Oh
out there?
no, I'm not willing to bet anything on this one because I
Okay.
if I had to pick, I think 100 Thieves loses this one to TSM. I think like
Really?
if there's ever a time for 100 Thieves to lose, I think this would be the time. And like I'm not picking them because I think that they're going to lose. I just think that like this is the most opportune time for them to lose to a top team. That it's like
Yeah.
I could see it happening. I don't know. If they win this one, we are 100% placing a bet on the final game because obviously like there's a lot of stakes at hand there.
Yeah.
But for this one, nah, I'm my stomach's already like rumbling and like animosity. I'm getting nervous, and I haven't gotten nervous like this since Optic played their playoff match against CLG back in 2019. I nearly shit myself 3 different times during the day during that series.
Really?
Oh my god, yeah. I'll never. We took 2 Barons and had 2 Elders and lost the game and just crumbled after that point. Like we should have won game one, and then once we lost that, it just giga tilted the entire team, and we lost 3-0
Happy
to
to see
CLG.
you feel something.
What do you mean? I feel something every time. This shit
Yeah, but
sucks.
I enjoy watching you be nervous.
Ah, well, this podcast is gonna be interesting then the day or the week before playoffs officially begins, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a nervous wreck.
No, that's when you're exciting because you like I don't know. Usually, you just like you're cheering for something. I never get to see you cheering for your actual team. You know,
Yeah, well, I
like
still need
usually
Optic back in the league for that to be.
I'm hearing you like talk about some fake care. I'm sure it's real to you, but some care you have for some team that doesn't matter. Like you'll be like, "Oh, C9's gonna win a bunch," and I'm like, "You don't care about C9 that much."
No.
I know you do in the sense of NA, but you don't do or die want to see C9 win, and you know how exhilarating it would be, and honestly good for this podcast it would be, if TSM and 100 Thieves could get out of groups in the same year.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if
I
they actually scrim each other that much.
They probably do. Well, obviously not this week, but I'd imagine they do. Which, speaking of that, that's actually one of the final things I wanted to bring up to you. How much
Oh.
how much do you worry if TSM Academy is losing for the main team? Like, do you put any thought into that at all, or no? Does that just roll off one shoulder?
Wait, how much of what? What's going on? Is this a thing?
Say the Academy team has a rough week. Do you think that is a
Oh,
precursor to the main team playing bad?
no.
I do for 100 Thieves because the main team and the academy team do scrim each other consistently per Papa
Oh, okay.
Smithy. So them losing games over the last week and a half is starting to get me a little bit more nervous. Like when Academy was smashing and LCS was smashing, it's like, okay, we're on top of the world, we're fine.
Yeah.
Now I start to see Academy drop a few games, and it's like,
Hmm.
are we falling behind the meta? And then I see us pull out a Mundo Senna bot lane, and it's like, no, we're not falling behind the meta yet. We're fine. So I, uh,
I
like
mean, I would
if
say
put it this way,
I
if
would
you
say for you
okay,
guys it matters, for us it doesn't.
yeah, I would agree.
It's okay. Because Cody-san and Hansu success, I don't think means much for the main team.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, there's no way our main team is scrimming our academy team that much because they're probably just stomping them, right? Like,
Probably, yeah. I don't think it
I'm
sounds
sure
weird to say
yours
like
does too, though.
from I would imagine they actually probably hold their own to a certain extent.
And I
Like
just feel like
to
Ryoma and Poom and who's
oh
your
yeah,
ADC
Ryom
down there?
Luger. Luger's
Luger's
decent.
actually not terrible.
Luger,
Yeah.
Kenby, and Tenacity could all hold their own against Someday Closer and FBI, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
they could.
But I think the mid and support gap is just massive.
Yeah.
Like, too much to overcome.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't know. If you want to see me nervous, like, y- you have legitimately no idea what I'm like when my team's actually in it. Like, when Optic was in it from 2018 to 2019, it was just like open up the dive and
Uh-huh.
specifically skip to the optic section. Like literally, like I knew release timers for podcasts and everything else to the minute, to the point where I knew when they'd be up and was immediately going to the sections I want.
Wow.
I'd be sitting in airports, and I don't normally watch Thorn and Monty, but if Optic had a good week, I'm 100% watching them just to like wait to hear when they're mentioned. Even if they
Yeah.
trash them, I don't care. Like the fact that they're just getting mentioned was like everything to me. It meant the
Yeah.
world. And it's like, that,
So,
ugh.
how about this? If TSM 100 Thieves meet up in LCS Summer Finals, we'll watch it together in person.
We'll
I'll
find a
come up
way.
there.
Well,
No, I can come up there. I don't have
the
much
issue is
going
also
on
when
right
is
now.
summer finals because I'm in Puerto Rico from August 12th to the 19th.
Oh no!
I might be watching this matchup from or in Puerto Rico.
Well, congratulations for you more than anything.
Oh, thank you.
But...
Wait, would it though? Because hang on. So how many? When's the last regular season game? The last regular season
August
game,
1st.
August 1st. So,
Yeah.
how many weekends does it typically take? 3. One.
It's August 29th.
Is that confirmed? Finals?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I'm clear.
Hmm.
If it's in
We could
person, I'm
try.
I'm
Yeah.
still trying to go out in person, possibly.
Oh yeah, we'll go out. I'll
I
come
did.
to a New York City watch party.
I
That'd be
mean, you could do.
sick.
I'm just saying, like, if 100 Thieves makes it to the finals, I'm begging and pleading with Emily to like let me go, like
Hmm.
fly out to wherever it's at, even if it's in
Oh, are
LA.
they doing it in person?
They have to be. Call of Duty just announced their world championships, or yeah, their COD champs in August is in person in Texas. So I'd imagine LCS finals should be in person
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. Like even if it's in like Arlington, Texas, I'd imagine it will be in person somewhere. Because they had finals last year in a stadium, and they
Mm-hmm.
could easily do it to with COVID capacity as well. In Captain Flowers' phrasing, butts and seats. They want butts and seats.
They do.
Yep.
Well, let me see. It doesn't say where they would be doing it at.
No, that won't be announced likely.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. If they're gonna announce it, they have to announce it soon. Like if we don't hear I'd say within the next 2 weeks, either by the end of this week or by the end of next week, uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be in person, other than like LCS Studio. But even then, I still think they want to have like some like spring finals was in a stadium, but alone.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine they'll try and have something like that.
Well, let's hope for like Chicago, right?
That'd be the best of both worlds, like somewhere on the East
Yeah.
Coast that's like right in between all of us.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Give
Oh,
us, I don't know, DC.
that'd be nice.
Yeah.
We'd have to bring out our mics and record a podcast live in person.
We would.
Oh, I I you know, this is getting a little bit too deep into it, but I don't care. Do you know what all happens like the week of the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Like how it's literally a party wherever the
Yeah, I've
city's
been
at.
to it because it's been in Indiana before.
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot you guys host Super Bowls.
Yeah.
New York and Pennsylvania don't ever see Super Bowls. Uh,
Yeah.
but like I eventually want like my dream is to have the LCS get to the point where it's a party all week. Like that.
Ooh.
Like that's the dream. I know it will never get that big realistically. But that'd be great. Like Worlds next year is going to be the closest we're going to get to that, and it's just going to be nuts. Like I'm
Yeah.
finding a way. Like next year, I already know. Uh, I might try and see like Emily and I are doing a pretty long vacation like early in the year. I might save almost all of my PTO for October of that year, and just from like our month close will end around like October 7th. Take the
Hmm.
8th to the 31st off and just
I
constantly travel for Worlds.
I think you could also just try to do what would it be? You could try to just take off Mondays and Tuesdays, so you can get back home.
True, but the thing is group stage goes all week.
That's a
So
good
like
point.
that's
That's a good point.
that's the catch is like I don't know. That's a long ways away. And I do got to wrap this
Sure,
up cuz
sure,
I got to
sure.
get this on I got to get this
Yeah.
exporting to YouTube, and also I think the clip that I'm going to use for TikTok for this podcast is that TSM Worlds jab.
Gosh dang it.
I think that's the one that's going to go up.
You're the worst, but fair.
It was a good one. It was a
It
pretty
was
good
really
jab.
funny. It was really funny.
Ugh.
Well,
Anyways, to
bye
stream,
everyone.
Paul and I could sit here and talk shit literally all night. Anytime it's been longer than a few days for us talking, like we could literally go on like this for hours. So
Yep.
I gotta end this and get everything uploaded, and I'm still technically on call for work, so I gotta get back and review some notes and get back to work at 11:30. But alas, it is what it is. Adios, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.